What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. WBC President Jose Sulaiman has come out and said that WBC Junior Middleweight Champion Jermell Charlo has put in a formal request to make a voluntary against WBA regular champ Erislandy Lara. The WBA Super Champion is Jason Rosario, as he's fresh off a knockout of Julian J. Rock Williams, which is a candidate for upset of the year. He's able to, that's the champion at that division, but the regular champ is Erislandy Lara. Now, Lara and Charlo both sparred and both trained under the tutelage of Ronnie Shields down here in Houston, on the north side of Houston. So they've been sparring many rounds, so they're very familiar with each other. So it's going to be a good competitive fight, man. I like this matchup, man. If we can't get, I'd rather see Jermell Charlo versus Jason Rosario, but it was clear after Rosario defeated J-Rock that him and his team were not interested in fighting Jermell Charlo next. So this is probably the next best fight we can get. And this fight is probably going to take place sometime in the fall of 2020. Now, both guys bring some good attributes to the table for this fight. Now, Jermell Charlo has got to maintain what he did in the Tony Harrison fight. You fight that style where you're a come forward fighter, you're throwing hard shots from round 1 to round 12 or whenever, you're able to get that guy out of there. You're not, he didn't show any signs of getting tired. Usually when you throw those hard shots like that, you kind of get tired, especially towards the second half of the fight, if not earlier. But Jermell Charlo never showed any kind of weariness in the Tony Harrison rematch. He's going to have to do that tenfold against Erislandy Lara, because unlike Harrison, Lara is not going to lose focus. It's obviously that Harrison lost focus in the second half of that fight, and that's why he ultimately got stopped. Lara is a very focused fighter. He's a little bit more defensively responsible than Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison probably, ain't no problem. Tony Harrison has more power, even though Lara is not no feather fisted fighter himself, as he showed in his last fight against Ramon Alvarez, Canelo Alvarez's brother, where he was able to knock him out. But Ramon Alvarez is a journeyman fighter, so it wasn't like he beat some elite fighter, but nonetheless, he did show that he does have power at 154. So it should be a good fight, man. Now, what Charlo's got to do is he's got to hope, because Lara's going to try to stink the joint out. He's going to try to make it a very tactical fight. He's going to try to keep the fight at his pace, where he can kind of pot shot Charlo from the outside, use the jab, make Jermell Charlo hesitate. If he can make Jermell Charlo hesitate and make him kind of, thinking too much in that ring, then he's gonna have Charlo in a bad situation and possibly looking at his second loss of his career. Charlo's got to be more aggressive. He's fighting an older fighter. I think Lara is in his mid to late 30s, so his legs are not as fresh as they was in his younger days. So he's got to apply a lot of pressure. Go to the body. He's got to look to load up on his shots, but he's got to go to the body early to slow his legs down, and then late go up top, and he possibly could get a stoppage in the second half of that fight. As far as Lara's going to try to do what Tony Harrison did in the first fight with Charlo. He's going to try to box, use the jab, control distance. He's going to try to actually slow the fight down, probably even a little slower than what Tony Harrison did in the first fight. He's going to really try to slow it down. He wants it where they not, he wants it where he's probably not throwing, he wants to get it where the punches per round is not nearby what it was in the Harrison Charlo rematch. He wants it like how he did with Austin Trout. He did a good job in Austin Trout fight, Lara. He was able to nullify Austin Trout's offense, and Austin Trout got a little bit reckless because he got so frustrated that he couldn't really touch Erislandy Lara, and then Lara ran him into some shots and was able to drop Trout multiple times en route to an easy win, a surprisingly easy win for Lara. That's what he's going to be looking to do with Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo, like I said, he's got to do what he did in the first fight with Lara. With the first fight with Harrison. And he's got to come out with that same killer mindset, man, where he just seek and destroy type of guy. I'm not going to be denied. I'm going to knock this guy out. This guy's not easy. This guy is an elite level, skillful boxer. But my tenacity, my doggedness my ferocity is just going to overwhelm him. He's not going to be able to measure. He's not going to be able to withstand the onslaught that I bring. Because the thing about Jermell Charlo is probably the hardest puncher at junior middleweight. You know, he's probably got power of a light heavyweight. That guy hits hard, Jermell Charlo. That guy is a powerful puncher. And once you catches a couple of his shots, you know, you get real defensive. And that's what Lara's already a defensive fighter anyway. So he takes a couple of those shots, he's gonna get more defensive than even he does. And that's gonna kind of take away from Lara's offense, which he has shown in his last 2 or 3 fights. He's shown much improvement. He's shown much more willingness to let his hands go. Look at the Jarrett Hurd fight. You know, Lara was very, very offensive minded. A lot of people went to that fight saying, "Oh man, Charlo, man, this fight is probably not gonna be that exciting, man. Lara's gonna probably try to box and stay out the way, stick and move, you know, and stick up the joint." But he actually fought Jarrett Hurd in the middle of the ring, didn't move around at all. A lot of people said that was a very fan-friendly fight. Surprised a lot of people. But what I got from that fight is Lara's legs are not the same as they was when he was younger. When he fought Canelo Alvarez, he had great legs. He was able to get out the way and frustrate Canelo Alvarez for a lot of those rounds during the 12-round disputed decision win for Canelo Alvarez. I think he recognized his legs are not the same. Like Muhammad Ali recognized his legs weren't the same. That's why he came up with the rope-a-dope. A lot of people like rope-a-dope. The rope-a-dope was created by Muhammad Ali because he didn't have his legs like he did in his younger days. And that's the same thing with Lara doing. I think he's fighting more fan-friendly fights because his legs are not the same as they were earlier in his career. So he's having more fan-friendly fights, and i.e. the Jarrett Hurd fight. That was a great fight, toe-to-toe phone booth battle, which was very exciting. He came up short, but he gave a good account of himself, and people were much more excited to see him fight after that fight with Hurd. So I think he's going to probably look to do the same. I say he needs to stick and move and fight like he did against Austin Trout, but look at how he fought his last couple of fights. I think he's going to be a little bit more flat-footed. Now that I think about this, he's going to be a little bit more flat-footed, and that's going to make for an exciting fight. But that could make for a short night for Lara. So I think Jermell Charlo, with Lara's new style of fighting, I think Jermell Charlo eventually breaks him down and knocks him out somewhere around the 7th or 8th round. I look for a Jermell Charlo knockout. But I look for an exciting fight, man. And Charlo's got to be ready to fight, man. The thing about it is, I just think both guys got power. Even though I think Jermell Charlo is a more powerful puncher, but Lara has got good punching power himself. But I think Charlo has a much better chin, and I think he's a much younger and much fresher fighter. I think his freshness, I think, will pay dividends in this fight, man. I think he'll stop Lara in the 7th or 8th round. But it should be very, very interesting, man. It could come out, the first couple of rounds could come out a little bit more tactical due to the familiarity of both fighters. They've trained and sparred many rounds down here in Houston on the north side under the tutelage of Ronnie Shields, as I stated earlier. So they got a lot of familiarity. Like, now, the last time we had a fight with guys that was sparred a lot of rounds and was trained up under the same trainer was Danny Jacobs versus Sergey Derevchenko. And that fight was very tactical, very, very tactical. It wasn't the most exciting fight, but it was a very tactical fight. And I think Daniel Jacobs won a split decision over Derevchenko because they both trained under the same trainer. This fight could kind of be like that early on, but I think eventually both guys will lather up, get loosened up, and they'll start letting their hands go. And I think it'll be a very, very good fight, very exciting. Be interesting to see where this fight will take place. Don't think it'll be a pay-per-view fight. Both guys are going to command a certain amount of a purse, but I think this is a fight that's going to take place on a Fox or a Showtime TV. So we'll see what's happening. We'll see what transpires, man. But that's the word of what's going on in boxing today, man. They're trying to line that fight up, man. There's Jermell Charlo and his team is putting in a formal request to defend a WBC junior middleweight title against the WBA regular champ, Erislandy Lara, out of Cuba. Should be a good fight, good matchup, and be very, very interesting to see what happened, man. I think Jermell Charlo will go into this fight as the solid favorite, but you'll have some people picking Lara, man. They'll think that Lara can maybe pull a slight upset. It wouldn't be a major upset, a slight upset, as Lara has been in there with the who's who of boxing. He's fought Paul Williams. He's fought Alfredo Ngula. He's fought, who else he fought? He's fought Brian Castano. He's fought Canelo Alvarez. He's fought his brother Ramon Alvarez. He's fought Carlos Molina. He's fought Vanes Montrosian. So he's been in there with some top level opponents. Austin Trout. He's fought Austin Trout. He's fought Terrell Garcia. So he's been there with some top level fighter. He has one of the best boxing resumes out there right now, active fighter. So it's gonna be a good fight, man. This, like I said earlier, man, this is Jermell Charlo's biggest name on his resume, and arguably his best fight on his resume. To this day, Tony Harrison's probably the best fighter on Jermell Charlo's resume. Now, Charlo won the belt, the vacant WBC junior middleweight belt when he knocked out John Jackson. Since then, he fought Erickson Lubin, who, if he fought him right now, would probably be the best on his resume. But when he fought Lubin, Lubin was wet behind his ears. He was a guy that didn't have a lot of experience, undefeated. 21-year-old Lubin wasn't ready for prime time, and he was able to knock him out in the first round. So he's beaten Lubin. He beat Austin Trout, but Austin Trout was on the downside of his career. Who else he's beat? Jermell George. He's beaten Vanes Montrosian, so probably gave him his toughest fight of his career was Vanes Montrosian, who was very awkward. And he gave him problems there. He was able to win a decision against Montrosian, and so that's probably his best. That's pretty much his resume. His resume is not as deep as Lara's resume, but he's the champion, and he's fresh off a win against Tony Harrison, which should do wonders for his confidence, which he didn't lack before then, but should take his confidence to a whole nother level. And it should be make for an exciting fight, man. For the familiarity of both fighters fighting under Ronnie Shields should make for a very interesting fight early on. And both guys will be, thinking about what they did in the gym and don't want to make that same mistake what they made maybe in sparring, knowing the other guy's tendencies. So it should make for a very tactical fight, maybe the first couple of rounds, but as the fight moves on toward the middle part of the first half of the fight, I look for the fight to really pick up, and I look for both guys to land their punches and land shots. And I think ultimately Jermell Charlo will stop Erislandy Lara around round 7, round 8. I just think the legs obviously gone from Lara, not the same as they was, which has made him a more hittable opponent, and I think that'll be his downfall going against the heavy-handed Jermell Charlo. We'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires, man. Looking forward to that fight happening in the fall of 2020. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Jermell Charlo versus Erislandy Lara. Who you like in that fight? And give me a prediction on how you think the outcome of that fight will be. Subscribe to my channel, JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. Help me grow the channel, and I'll be bringing more content to you guys when it's relevant and when it's prevalent. We'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.